We start tonight with this. Player from Guilford College hitting a three-point buzzer-beating basketball shot from roughly 90 feet. That was in a game a few years ago. Also, there's this one. This is from a high school game last March. That's not all. There's also this one. Watch this one. No! Do it again. One more. Go on. Okay, one more. Go on. One more. That was so not one more.
2 seconds to go, and Myers, they're going to take a shot. He makes it.
All right, there we go. Although the interstitial random Kent Outdoors was almost more perfect. Of those full court shots, the first one was college. The next four were all high school games. Players making full court shots. Just incredible, right? I have to say, it was very cool to spend my snowy day in my office today searching YouTube for all of those clips. But no one would say that seeing those clips, seeing those shots, disproves that trying to make a 90-foot shot in basketball is a hard thing to do, right? I mean, even though there's evidence that it can be done, shooting from the backcourt is hard. And coaches, therefore, probably shouldn't plan on always making that shot in order to plan to win games. Everybody understands that, right? It's the difference between observing a specific thing and understanding whether or not that specific thing is a fair representation of how things are generally in the world. It's simple, right? It's kind of like being an adult. Everybody gets that. Apparently, unless you are in politics. In politics right now, full court shots aren't hard. We know that because we've seen YouTube clips of kids making them. In politics now, whatever we're looking at right this instant disproves everything else we know about the world.
I don't think it takes a genius to see through the more snow is proof of global warming claim. 63% of the country is now covered in snow, and it's breaking Al Gore's heart because the snow is also burying his global warming theory.
The global warming hearing that Barbara Boxer was going to have tomorrow has now been canceled because of the blizzard. So
it's almost too easy.
It's the most severe winter storm in years, which would seem to contradict Al Gore's hysterical global warming theories. Rumor has it that another storm could be headed this way next week. Global warming, where are you? We want you back.
See the science at work here? Clearly the climate can't be changing because there's a storm this week on the East Coast. Sean Hannity has proven that there is no such thing as global warming because Sean Hannity feels cold. We dispatched the Rachel Maddow Show's chief winter weather correspondent, Mr. Kent Jones, to try to confirm Mr. Hannity's intrepid reporting. Kent?
Still snowing. Still snow. Lot of snow. Snow. It's still snowing. It's not snowing. It's snowing.
Deny that. Huh? Breaking news. We can now confirm it is cold and it is snowing along the East Coast in February. You know, if one person wins the lottery, that's awesome for that person, but it does not disprove the existence of the recession. When it rains in the desert, that does not disprove the existence of the desert. It's still a desert right there, even in the place where it rained. If you have smoked a cigarette in your life and you are not currently suffering from lung cancer or heart disease, your existence, while healthy and happy, does not disprove the fact that smoking causes lung cancer and heart disease. The evidence we have of flight, birds, bees, airplanes, what have you, does not disprove the existence of gravity. The existence of monkeys does not disprove evolution. The existence of tadpoles does not disprove the existence of frogs. Full court shots are hard. Evolution is real. Gravity is real. The recession, real. Deserts, dry. Smoking, bad. Frogs exist. Also, so do storms. The fact that it is snowing somewhere, anywhere, at any one time, does not tell you any useful thing about the overall climate. NASA says, you know, those hippies at NASA, NASA says that global average temperatures for the last year were the second hottest year on record, ever. The past decade was the warmest decade in the past 2,000 years. But it's snowing somewhere today, so that must all be meaningless. Okay, but if we're going to take one fact about the current weather and use it to obfuscate every other observable truth about the climate as a whole, I would like to add one thing to the mix. There's no snow in Vancouver for the Winter Olympics. Everybody panic! Joining us now is Emmy Award winner and scientist Bill Nye, the science guy. Mr. Nye, thank you very much for coming back on the show. It's nice to have you here.
It's so good to be here.
Can you explain in layman's terms whether a snowstorm disproves global warming?
Well, first of all, it doesn't, no. But we remind you that global warming was the first term for this phenomenon that we now call climate change. So it's very reasonable that a snowstorm in Washington that's this severe is a result of climate change.
Is it consistent to have extreme weather conditions like big storms or even seasonally appropriate storms and to have the kind of climate change that's been forecast and discussed by most of the reputable scientists in the world?
I know what you're driving at, Rachel. Yes, this would be consistent with such a thing, as is no snow near the city of Vancouver on Mount Cypress there, as is the big mudslides we had here in Southern California the day before yesterday and a little bit last night. There's more energy in the atmosphere, and this is stirring things up. If you want to get serious about it, these guys claiming that the snow in Washington disproves climate change are almost unpatriotic. They're denying science. So they're very happy to have the weather forecast be accurate within a few hours, but they're displeased or unenchanted by predictions of the world getting warmer. It's really, it shakes me up.
And you say, using the term unpatriotic and saying that it's sort of defying science, do you feel like there is a legitimate beef about the facts here, honestly? Or do you feel like some people just don't like what the facts say?
Well, my thinking is, really, I've thought about this a lot as an educator, spent a lot of time with a lot of people. It's mostly generational. It seems to be. This is anecdotal from me. Older people just have a much harder time grasping the idea that you have many billions of people on the planet with a very, very thin atmosphere. You're able to affect its climate. When younger people are able to sort of embrace it, understand the evidence, and move forward. Just as you say, making a full court one-arm shot happens now and then. There's snowstorm in Washington, D.C. now and then.
What's the difference between weather and climate? I think this is the sort of argument about, a snowstorm disproves global warming. It's the sort of argument that people have at the water cooler, on the street, with neighbors. What's an easy way to explain the difference there?
Well, one's a small-scale phenomenon, happens day to day. The other's a big phenomenon. And we all know this. We all feel it in our hearts. You know that the Mojave Desert is dry. That's its climate. It's a dry climate. It rains now and then, as you pointed out, but it's a dry climate. You know the Amazon rainforest is a wet climate. Washington, D.C., New York City, these are an in-between climate. So you get in-between weather phenomena.
What kinds of indicators should we be paying attention to? What aren't stupid indicators in order to assess the danger posed by climate change?
Well, overall, the world's getting warmer. If you like, these phenomena, by the way, this week and stuff, are just generally a result of El Nino, where the Pacific Ocean surface gets a little warmer, and this affects the weather in North America like crazy. And this is very well documented, and you can go to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration websites, and you can look at these data. The sea surface is warmer, putting more energy in the atmosphere, and making things more turbulent. The main thing is, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change got a Nobel Prize. They got a scientific prize for making a discovery. They didn't get a minor award. This is a big deal. They discovered climate change through all kinds of evidence, and it's something we should all be very, very concerned about. This thing of denying science. You know, science has done so much to make this country what it is, a technological leader. It's improved the quality of life for so many people here and around the world. To deny what scientists or scientific evidence is showing is inappropriate. And as I said earlier, to me, when I get wound up, it's unpatriotic.
Well, I hear you, and I get wound up about the same things, and I'm grateful that you were able to come on the show and talk about it. Bill Nye, the science guy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.